Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today is another kind of a surprise impromptu video. In fact, it was the same day that I filmed my last one where I showed, I had a little road trip and talked about some of the acquisitions that I was fortunate enough to come across. Little did I know, my wife was out of town that weekend and sitting in my mailbox. I get lazy, I get tired of checking the mail every day, so I didn't check it. And then I got a text that Sunday that I filmed that, and a friend goes, Dean, I mailed you something. I just was curious if you've got it yet. Obviously, he tracked it. You can see it's been sitting in my mailbox. I go, well, I haven't checked my mail, but as soon as I can, and when I get a chance, I'll go out and I'll have a look and see if it's there. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. A friend of mine asked me for my address a few weeks back, and I didn't think much of it. So I got out my mailbox, and they have a little key in my mailbox, and then next to it there's a bigger mailbox. If you get a key in your mailbox, and you can unlock a larger little aluminum mailbox that's next to it. And it had a big box in it. So I opened this box up, and it's just lovingly packed with tons of bubble wrap. Everything's tightly wrapped. I had no idea what it was. So I'm opening the thing up, and all of a sudden, little do I know, but there's a Wii that my friend Ado down in Los Angeles. In fact, he lives in Culver City, which is where I used to live, at a place over on Havelock in Culver City. And he sent me a really clean Wii. This is one of the first generation ones that has the ability to play the GameCube games. And I go, oh my God, dude, this is incredible. So he sent me a Wii. It comes obviously with a Wii remote. And I'm not real familiar with the motion controls for this. It even has the classic controller, which I really like. In fact, a lot of the Wii games I probably would get would be the ones that I could use with a controller, as I'm more acclimated with a controller. I'm not a real big fan of motion controls, but then again, I haven't played a lot of things, and I've never even played a Wii game, to be honest with you. But he anyway sent me this beautiful Wii. It's in excellent condition. It looks like it's barely been used, if it's been used at all. He sent me 2 Wii games, Red Steel. I know there's a good sequel to this with improvements, and then this GT Pro Series racing game, which is really cool. I'd love to play a racing game. I don't know how it works, but it might have the little wheel. I think this might have the wheel accessory with this, but really cool games. I'm very excited about this. He had seen a video I had talked about just recently, I don't know, a few videos back, I talked about that I'd like to get a GameCube or a Wii where I'd be able to play some of the early, GameCube games, and he even sent me one of those beautiful Orange Spice, I wish I had the orange GameCube that went with this from Japan, but a really nice Orange Spice GameCube controller. Nicely wrapped up here. I instantly get so excited. It's funny, I've gotten so many wonderful gifts over the years, including my PS4 Pro from my good friend Angel a year ago. My friend Mikey sent me a Sega Genesis a few years back. I've gotten so many wonderful gifts. My friend Clinton sent me a stereo modded Sega Genesis as well. So I just feel so blessed to have so many wonderful people that send me gifts. For years, before I even did my YouTube show, I was a donator. I donated over 50 to 60 items to Classic Game Room. 20 of those were games. The rest of them were very expensive die-cast cars, little Mad Max statues and collectibles. And for Classic Game Room, Mark Bustler reviewed those. I have a playlist on my channel of donated favorites, and you can see all the things I've donated. For a whole year, I donated games to a good friend of mine, about $500 worth, to support his channel. So when I started YouTube, I didn't even have my own show or channel. I just did YouTube so I could comment, interact with my friends, and I was a big supporter of other people's endeavors. And so it's kind of strange, and now it's kind of coming full circle, and now people are sending me things. I never thought I'd ever see the day. I've never monetized my channel. I'm not interested in ever asking anyone for money or through my hard times and things like that, but this is a wonderful gift. Ado, thank you so much. This is one of the coolest gifts I've ever had. I've got a Super NES. That's really my only involvement with the Nintendo products. I had played my friend Mike back in fact, it was in Culver City when I lived there on Havelock. He had one of the very first NES. I enjoyed playing it, but I never really liked the games enough to go out and buy one. It wasn't until I saw Wing Commander 4 for the Super NES that I had to have one. And I really loved the Super NES, and I'm so happy to have it back in my collection. I just don't have a whole lot of games for it. I just have a few. I got a couple of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, and I've got Outlander, and that's it. I really want to get more. But what's interesting is that I've been fascinated with the GameCube because of the Rogue Squadron 2 and the Rebel Strike game that are on there. And even the wonderful Bounty Hunter, which I have, I think I've got it right here, don't I? Bounty Hunter here somewhere. Where the hell is it? I don't know where it is. I thought I had it here. It's probably sitting... I might have it in the other room. I think that's... Yeah, I've got it in my... I have it in the other room, in the living room. But even Bounty Hunter on the GameCube looks better. It actually even has a real-time shadows under the little character that you control, where the PS2 version doesn't. So I've been very intrigued just to get the Star Wars games alone. And then there's many other ones which I've just recently been researching. I am very excited. This is like the coolest thing in the world. So I can play on my 4K TV via component cables, which ironically I've had a set of component cables I bought a while back just for my PlayStation 2. This is the PlayStation 2. This is if you have the original Xbox 360, the early one, and then it even has a Wii controller, which is really awesome. So I already have the component cables for it. I just never used the Wii. I've never had one. So I'm very excited about that. Not only that, but my friend Mikey, when he sent me my Sega Genesis like 3-4 years ago, he was at the store and he knew that I was looking for an S-video cable set up for my Super NES, so he mailed me a brand new S-video AV cable. So what I want to do is, even though I love this, I'm going to look for a GameCube. I don't know whether I'm going to get a black one, a platinum one, or the indigo blue one, but I'm excited that now I have an AV cable set up to where, because I got these wonderful, I'd like to get a GameCube to go with my analog TVs, and then have the Wii out there inside my cabinet with my little cubbies. I can put it easily fit this sitting upright inside one of my little cubbies under my TV, and then I can play Wii games and or GameCube games via component cables on that, and then have a little GameCube in here with S-video cables to play on one of my wonderful Sony, and I got the progressive scan, everything is set up on my Toshiba and Sony analog TVs. I got a 27-inch Sony, and I've got a 32-inch Toshiba with gorgeous pictures on them, and these S-video cables look awesome. So I'm real close. He also sent me one of the really large Animal Farm, is that what it's called? I don't know if it's Animal Farm, no, it's called Animal Crossing. It's a special memory card that's an extra large one. I mean, you could put millions of games on this, and it fits beautifully right inside, right in here. You can put your GameCube memory card in. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm really excited about that I've got, he sent the memory card, he's got the GameCube controller with the little motion sensor deal as well. So plus I've got all the AV cables and all that stuff set up. So I'm ready to go. This is like a really exciting thing. So naturally, I've been on, YouTube. When I get home, I go on there and I'm looking at, the top 10, top 20, 100, whatever GameCube games. I'm looking at, Metal Jesus, his favorite Wii games, Volume 1, 2, and 3. So I'm really getting kind of a crash course in the Wii system, in the Wii games. So I'll try some of the motion control games. Naturally, some of the ones that use the classic controller, some of the Call of Duty games, and other ones you have the ability to use the classic controller, or you can use the other deal. I'd like to get one of those wireless, I think it's called a Wavebird controller as well, which would be really cool. So again, Ado, thanks so much for this. This is like the coolest gift. I don't know what it is. I've just never had one of these Wiis. It's one of those things where I see them in the store. I've meant to get one. I've seen the GameCube. I haven't got one yet. It's always money. It always comes down to money. Right now, I've got a whole stack of games that I'm going to be taking in soon. I got about 18 or 19 PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games and one original Xbox game that I'm taking in this weekend with my good buddy Steve, and we're going to have our place called Fair Game Retro Place. They got the best resurfacing machine in town. I mean, this does flawless work, even better than the one at Dimples. And I'm going to have, you pay them anything over, I think it's 10 games. It goes from $3.99 per disc to polish them out. It's only $2 a disc. I'm taking him in this weekend. I'm going to focus. I've already kind of gone through all my original Xbox games, but I haven't done my PlayStation one. So I went through every PlayStation 1 and 2 games. I wanted to clean those up before I do my my PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 collection video, which is going to be coming soon. So that's what I'm working on this weekend. If they have Rogue Squadron or the Rebel Strike, if it's affordable this weekend, I may go ahead and get those, because naturally I'm dying to play those on here. The same thing with Bounty Hunter. I'd love to play Bounty Hunter on here as well. And who knows, I might even get, they have like a Jedi Outcast, they've got Clone Wars, and I think one other one. They've got a couple Star Wars games. Some of them I already have for the original Xbox and the PlayStation 2, but I'm very excited. This is like a huge dream for me to play GameCube games, and I want to collect. There's so many that I want to get. There's an F-Zero game that looks fantastic. There's another one, Hot Wheels World Race or something like that, that looks interesting. Tube Sliders, I love the name. Sounds like a porno film. Sounds pretty cool. Trying to think what else there is. There's that Luigi's Mansion, which looks really good actually. I've never been really into the Mario games, but that was like an opening game for the GameCube, and it looks great. So I'm impressed. The GameCube is really good quality, even better quality than the PlayStation 2 from what I've gathered. Maybe a notch below the original Xbox as far as being a powerhouse, but it looks really good, and it's a highly underrated system. I love the industrial design of it. I love the way it looks. I don't care what color of the one I end up getting. It looks great, and I'm even intrigued that Metal Jesus recently did a video about they have an HDMI adapter for the GameCube, which looks fantastic. Although he was at a party, he had his beach party, and I guess someone tripped over the cord, knocked it down, and it shorted out his deal because he had the little deal in there. The pin connector shorted everything out. So he made another video about that, saying that it ruined his GameCube. But I'd like to get one of those. They're about $100, a hell of a lot cheaper than spending $300 plus for the component cables, which have a proprietary little chip in them that Nintendo naturally likes to overly protect all their shit with a little mini disc. That's why I was kind of put off by the little tiny disc of the GameCube, but I think it's like a 1.9, gigabyte. It's a small little, there's only so much information. Some of the GameCube games have to come on a couple different discs. But I appreciate what they're trying to do. I'm very anti-piracy. I do not agree with piracy. I've never pirated a CD, a movie, a game in my life. I don't approve of that. I think people should be paid what they're worth. That we should pay for the companies for the games. That's just my thing. I'm just an ethical person that way, and I just don't agree with that. But I understand Nintendo's overly protective, as you know by their YouTube policies as well. But anyway, that's my latest acquisition. I could have had this actually in my last video if I had thought to go to my damn mailbox and open it up, but I'm actually glad to kind of give this its own video. And not only that, but ironically, right after I did that video last Sunday, I got a call from my Dimple store, and they go, "Dean, we have on your locator, we located your Battle Stations Pacific, come down and get it." Flawless condition. It's got the manual. This cost me $19.99, $20. But it's in excellent condition, and now I have both. I finally have Battle Stations Midway and Pacific. And you know what's funny is 3, 4, 5 years ago, you'd see both of these games in like every GameStop, Dimples, they were everywhere. Now, because they're so popular, certain games are becoming more popular for the Xbox 360. You're not seeing too many of them in the wild anymore because people are hanging on to the ones that they like. And these are two epic games. I'm really happy to have these in my collection. It's very, very cool. So I'm getting there. I'm going to have to take a little break from collecting for a little while. I've spent so much money, recently over the summer on games, and I'm trying to catch up. I've got a couple other credit cards I'm so close to paying off, so I'm really trying to put everything towards that for right now, get them paid off, and then I'm hoping within like another month, maybe by October, and I got Wolfenstein Colossus coming out, special edition. That's $100 for that. I've got the new Need for Speed Payback game coming out. We got this Call of Duty World War II thing, which I'm still on the fence on that. I want to see that they haven't destroyed the game with political correctness and removed all those SWAT stickers. And I've heard mixed things. So I want to see a review on the campaign, see how that is. But it looks good. I'm just happy at least it's returning to World War II, political correctness notwithstanding. But it's been wonderful. I had a wonderful time last week, and I thought about that all week. And I texted my good friend Steve Baker, and we're going to go this weekend, maybe take the Challenger down and take a bunch of games and have them resurface and do a little retro hunting. I might get one game. I might get the Rogue Squadron. At least that. We'll see. I saw on eBay you could get, if someone had Rogue Squadron and Rebel Strike complete with the manuals and the original strategy guide for the first Rogue Squadron 2 for the GameCube for $35. And there might be shipping on top of that, which I'm tempted to get. It's a pretty good deal considering what you get, but I don't even want to spend that much money right now. I'll probably spend $30 just having all these games resurface. But I'm really into protecting my games. I make sure all my discs are perfect condition. They all work. They're all polished, as scratch-free as possible. There are a few light scratches, that's okay, but some of them just get gnarled up. Occasionally I'll get one at Dimples and they forget to put it through the machine or whatever, and it's got scratches. I'm just kind of anal and retentive about that. But it's a wonderful time to be a gamer. There's still great deals out there, and there's some wonderful generosity, like my good friend Ado that sent this. I mean, this shows you that with all the negativity and the bullshit that you see on YouTube and social media, there's still genuinely nice, sincere people out there that appreciate the YouTubers that are trying to do positive work. I try to have a positive show that really uplifts the games and wants to show the best side of the gaming community, whether you're a gamer or a collector. And to me, that's what it's all about. I hate all the negativity, the trolling, a lot of it is just, it's horrible over the years. And it's nice to see that there's genuinely kind-hearted people out there that really care about the community and even about YouTubers like myself. I wish I could do more content. I wish I could put out 2-3 videos a week, and some weeks I will. Sometimes I'll have a little downtime. I'm on a huge job right now. I've been on it for like a week and a half. I got one more week to wrap it up. The money's good, but again, you're kind of earmarked for bills. And I've got a couple other jobs lined up after that, so I'm hoping to kind of get back on track with my collecting, and I'll do another future pickups video down the road. But in the meantime, life is very good. I'm so excited. Even if I just find one GameCube game for this weekend, I'll be really, really happy. There's so many great games. It's so fun just to go on YouTube and to sit and look at people's top 10, videos for their favorite, GameCube games and all this. There's another one I want to get. I think it was like a Wave Race, Wave Run Blue Race, or I don't know what it's called, something like that. Kind of a jet ski deal. There's a 1080 Avalanche game that looks awesome, snowboarding game. I know that some of the SSX games as well had made their way into the GameCube. A lot of those multi-plats I'll probably just play on my original Xboxes. I already have them, but I'm excited to get the exclusives for the GameCube. Finally, it's like one of the last kind of modern consoles, or kind of modern retro consoles, if you will, that I've always wanted. I love the 6th gen. And I don't know if I'll ever get a Dreamcast or not. And I've heard that some issues with reliability of the Dreamcast as well as the games. Some of the games aren't protected as well when they were printed, and people have had disk rot issues or something with them. I don't know. So I don't know that I'll get a Dreamcast, and I don't want to spend the money for those expensive games. But I really like a lot of the games I'm seeing for the GameCube and the Wii. And it just opens up a whole new world of games, especially for someone that's never played them. So I'm very excited about that, the possibilities. This has already been a wonderful year. It's been so nice to kind of get back into gaming. I've been playing a lot of original Xbox games. For the last 2 weeks I've had my original Xbox hooked up in my living room, and that's all I've been doing. Is I get like 10-12 games at a time. I play a little bit of each one. I've even been playing some Battlefront 1 and 2 again. And it's so exciting to revisit so many of my old favorites. And I've been playing, Time Shift on my Xbox 360 lately. So I haven't been playing too much on my PS4. I also discovered, by the way, a couple friends of mine said, Dean, by the way, you can go in and change your inverted aim on the PS4 version of Abduction. But what they had a little bar at the top, and it says Controls. It had like a little sub-menu, but there's no button prompts that tell you how to access it. So I'm hitting like every button, and finally I got hit one, and the little cursor went up to the top. I'm like, oh, thank God, now I can finally do it. So I tried it before. I tried like every button. I couldn't figure out how to access it. It's a puzzle in and of itself within a puzzle game, just navigating the menu. So it's kind of embarrassing that there was an inverted aim the whole time, but Cyan games really should make it, at least the menu, a little bit more intuitive to where people can access it. Just have some simple button prompts. Hit X for this, circle for that, square for this, and then that way we know how to access it. So now I can finally resume my time in Abduction, which I'm looking forward to. I may be playing Red Faction 2 pretty soon. I've been reading my Warriors guide and really I've been very curious about getting back into Warriors on the PlayStation 4 version, where they've got it now in 1080p. It looks so good. So it's a wonderful time to be a gamer. There's so many great new games coming out this year, and there's lots of smaller games in these older PlayStation 2 games that they're kind of redialing in, putting in widescreen, trophy support, the whole deal for the PlayStation 4, and I find that very exciting for me personally. I love the remasters. Get LA Noire coming soon. Who knows, maybe we'll get a Red Dead Redemption remastered, which would be incredible. So it looks good. It's all going in the right direction, and I'm real happy with my game collection so far. It's just, I look around this room, and this has been a labor of love. Back in 2012, I had just a few games on these little shelves. That's it. That's all I had. I had like a dozen, 15 games when I first started the show back in the latter part of 2012. And it's taken me years to slowly collect, because I know the prices are good now for the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and even the original Xbox and PlayStation 2. Even PS1 games, for the most part, the prices are going up. So now is the time to get them. Fortunately, I've got probably 85%, 90% of what I want, so I'm not too far off, but some of them are going to be expensive. I'm going to have to probably resort to eBay for the remainder of them, which is getting up there. So that's my goal anyway, is to try to get my collection wrapped up. If not this year, every year I want to get, I'm hopeful, but it never happens. But maybe by next year I could easily wrap it up, if not this year. So just a matter of me kind of taking, okay, here's $1,500 and allocating it towards my collection, and just going on eBay and buying up all the strategy guides and all the remaining games that I want to wrap up my 6th and 7th gen systems. But I'm getting there. I'm real happy with my PlayStation 1 games. I got my new little PlayStation 1 Mini, which is so cool, thanks to my good buddy Steve Baker. So life is good. Life is very, very good in the game room of love. I got Vinny sitting over here in his kitty condo sleeping, and it just reminds me of how good I have it. Sometimes we take that for granted. On some sad news, my good buddy Angel, which I think the world of, he just recently bought a house over in Houston, in the Houston area, and where they had all that flooding and stuff. He was kind of a city removed from Houston, but he thought he would be okay, and all of a sudden he woke up to this god-awful storm, and he had 3 feet of water that went through his entire house. And he texted me this picture of all of his games and his collection ruined from the water damage. I mean, he just moved in the house like 2 weeks before. He hadn't had time to unpack all the boxes. All of a sudden he had to evacuate with his family and his pets. He didn't have any time to prepare anything. And initially there was just a little, I remember he showed a little videos, like just a little bit of water on the floor. But when he came back to his house, it was like 3 feet of water, destroyed everything. My heart just breaks for the poor guy. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. My good buddy Angel, he hasn't made a video in a while. He worked so hard. This was his dream was to buy this house. He just bought a house. I'm so proud of him for working hard and getting this. And you can imagine he's in a new area. He's got no supportive family or friends in his area. So please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. I really feel horrible that he's lost everything. Angel, if you're listening, or if you see this, bud, hang in there. God bless you and your family. I wish you nothing but the best. If there's any way that I can help out, or any of my friends can help out, we will. We certainly will. So, but that's it, guys. I just wanted to kind of give you a little update video, let you know, some new acquisitions and things that I'm very happy to have. I'm going to be continuing my collection videos real soon. So thanks so much for watching, and enjoy your games and your game collections.